seven, six, five, four, three, two, one. Begin transmission.
Welcome to What Noir Radio.
What is going on, guys?
What up, what up, what up? It's your favorite
So-
shit talking squirrel friends.
How you doing, Beefy?
I'm good, man. How are you? Ooh, ooh, ooh,
I'm doing pretty good. There is some reverb on your end. Do you have it playing?
Yeah, I just had it on for a second. Do you still hear it? Should be good now.
No, it's all good now. It's all good now. Okay, let me greet you guys all. First of all, thank you for coming back and watching this show. I think it's really awesome to see you again. And as you know, just in case you're new here, I am your host, Alistair. I am co-hosted by an awesome squirrel called...
Beefy, who has the anxiety, your favorite shit talking squirrel friend.
Do you know, Beefy, do you know the history? Why is it called like poop talking? You know what I mean? Like, where is that
That's a
from?
good question. I don't know. That's a really good question.
Who was like, stop poop talking, man? Like, who thought of that? And why poop?
Yeah.
Why not the
'cause you
other?
think,
Yeah,
like,
why?
it couldn't be F. If it was F talking, that's just like sex talk, and and I'm trying to
Right.
think about other swears. Just that's a weird one. I'm not sure.
Do you think the person who invented it had a poop fetish?
Possibly.
Oh, humans, why are we so
Get
weird?
your mind
Love
out
it.
of the gutter.
My mind is in the gutter, honey, all day, every day. It's
Always,
just I'm married.
always.
Yeah. I express my gutterness with my spouse. Perfect. But it is still very much in the gutter.
How was your week, man? Tell me.
Sure. So I'll start with the most shocking one. So my daughter just fell down the stairs, only one stair, and she hit her face and she bled from the nose. And I like the bleeding stopped, but I am pretty distraught right now. So Christopher is like, it's okay. But in my mind, I'm like, oh my God. So right now she's at the pool and my mother-in-law enjoying the weather at the pool. I'm here talking to you. But in the back of my mind, I'm sitting there like, oh God, what have I done?
Did she have to go to the hospital?
So I wanted to take her to the hospital, but Chris is like, no, it's not that big of a fall. Like it's this big of a step. It's just one step on the stair.
Yeah.
And it's actually less than a step because our living room is a sunken living room. So it's just one small step, but she hit it face first. And but she cried for like a few minutes and then she went back to her old self, which was a good sign, Christopher said. But there was blood, but all the bleeding stopped, and Chris was like, it's all good. But in the back of my mind, I just, because I'm naturally a skeptic and I'm naturally skittish, and I'm naturally like to be safe than sorry 99% of the time. So in the back of my mind, I'm saying to myself, oh God, like, why didn't we go to the doctor? But it's not
Kids
all
bounce
about
back
me, right?
pretty quick.
Right.
Most of the
But
time,
also,
even when they go to the doctor, they just tell them like, oh yeah, just sleep it off, you'll be fine.
yeah, but that's what we have insurance for. That's what it's for. Use it. Just hop in a car, go to the doctor.
There's co-pays, and honestly, if you bring them to the hospital too much, that can like that can be a thing unto itself. Then when they get older, it's like they get a little boo boo, and they're going, oh, I gotta go to the doctor. You know what I mean? So there has to be a certain amount of rub dirt kind of attitude when they're kids.
Chris said it was like, let's have some balance. It's not everything has to be extreme. It's I'm telling you, because I have that condition. Chris had to calm me down and be like, it's okay, we're gonna go to the pool anyway. And she was herself. She was being annoying in a very good way. She's like laughing and giggling and very demanding, like a queen. And so they're at the pool right now, and she's I'm waiting to I'm waiting for a text that says, "Please tell me if the bleeding stopped, no bleeding, and she's having a good time." But in the back of my mind, I'm still frazzled. It's like, oh my god, oh, I can't shake
It's
that
funny
picture out of my
how
head.
every week we always end up coming back to that same saying of just like it's a balance. Everything is a balance. It's just like everything in moderation. Don't overdo it too much. Don't underdo anything. It's just always walking the tightrope of life.
Darn it, because I love to be obsessive. You know, I have an addictive brain. There's nothing better than be obsessive. Give me everything, more.
Which again can be a good thing, you know what I mean? To be afraid and to think about stuff that keeps us safe. It keeps us interested in the things we like and away from the things that we don't. But then again, if you overdo it, that can be bad too. I tend to do that. Yeah, I overthink
I
as
overdo
well.
it. I'm on the spectrum of being overly cautious to a fault. I know that, and so that's why I listen. When Chris was like, "I'll stare," I was like, "Okay, fine, I'm listening to you." But it doesn't change the fact that I feel like I want her to be checked from head to toe, scan, EKGs, you know, like of course. But no, I overdo it when it comes to certain things. Safety is one of them. I don't take chances when it comes to that, and so I know I'm OCD about that. So I let him take the lead on this one, and so I'm washing my hands up with that situation. If Christopher says she's fine, then she's fine. Even though
I will overthink everything. Like I will just overdo whatever is going on. Like whether I'm worrying about something or I'm just overthinking a situation. My therapist calls it like mental masturbation, where you're constantly going over situations in your head or worrying about something else. And more often than not, whatever I'm worrying about, I'll actually get into whatever it is, and it's like, wait, this is it. This wasn't that bad. Like this was nothing. You know.
I freaking love the word mental
Yeah.
masturbation.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of like it's like mind effing. Do you know what I mean?
Like we got comments here. I wasn't even paying attention.
Comments.
Jared
I'm
says
not. Hi, Jared.
Yeah, Jared's here. Alicia's
who
here.
else?
Alicia's
hi, Alicia. I don't have
my
access to the
bestie.
comments. It's Beefy's fault. Hi. Yay. Oh, thank you, Alicia.
We have like 7 people in here. A couple people dropped out already, but that's okay. People will trickle in.
Listen to me. If it's just me, you, and whoever is in here, I'm happy. Please.
Yeah, plus we got the replay crew to think about. You know what I mean? We used to do a show just you and me.
I love it. Like Beefy, this is one of the best times of my life. It really is.
Yeah, I do really like this podcast. It's definitely I look forward to it every week.
I'm happy, regardless. Yep. Like I feel so full. Yeah.
It's definitely a therapeutic thing to come in here once a week and chit chat with you.
Thank you. I'm blushing. Can you tell? Of course you can.
Yes.
Beauty of being black. You can't see my emotion from the inside unless I tell you how I'm feeling. Yeah. Do you know what else I did? No, enough about me. What do you do? How was your week, sir?
It's good. Getting into all kinds of new hobbies, meeting new people, getting out there, hanging out with friends.
That's the best. Meeting new people is the best. There's nothing better than meeting new people. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Oh, so tell me
new friends, new hobbies, all kinds of stuff.
So, okay, ready? Question number 1. What is the new hobby that you picked up?
Interesting. So, I've gotten into buying and selling Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh cards on an app called Whatnot. Remember I was telling you about how I was buying all these cards on Yu-Gi-Oh cards on Whatnot?
Not Magic cards?
Magic 2, yeah.
Okay.
I realized that I had like this massive, it's seriously, if I showed you my collection of cards, it's absolutely silly how many effing cards I have.
I love it.
And honestly, I'm only doing it to kind of supply my obsession with the card. I mean, whatever. I have an addictive personality. I jump into things with both feet. And I just have really thrown myself into collecting cards. And now I'm selling cards to go get better cards. And it's just like, now I'm buying and selling and flipping and trading and hanging out with. Yeah, it's cool. It's fun.
Now, tell me about the new person you met.
No, I mean, all kinds of new people. It's not like one person in particular.
But I know, but tell me the one person that stood up to your mind.
Well, I went to a buddy's house that I met. It was really odd. I was just in his stream buying Yu-Gi-Oh cards with me and another kid that I always hang out with, and he just happened to say he was in Massachusetts, and I was like, "Oh, me too." And then my buddy was hanging out was like, "Me three." And so it turns out that this guy lives like 10 minutes from my house. So yeah, I went over there. He kind of showed me the ropes, and
Oh,
we
that's
opened up some
awesome.
cards, and now I'm doing it myself. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
You know, human beings are the best. There's nothing better than being around human beings. I love meeting new people. I love my own company, but there's something special about meeting new faces, new limbs in a non-criminal way, new stuff. It's
Yeah, I definitely enjoy my alone time.
I enjoy it.
When
Yeah.
when I'm at home all day, every day, I definitely when I wake up, I kind of like to be alone. But it's definitely nice to hang out with people too.
Yeah.
Again, we come back to the balance. It's nice
Yeah.
to go out and hang out with people, but I think for the most part, I'm more of a homebody.
Yeah, I'm a homebody too. Oops.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure it's not Chris. Okay, perfect. It's not Chris.
I think after the big the big P word that we can't say, the Corona beverages.
Can't say the word pandemic.
I think maybe you can. I'm
Is
not sure.
it? Yeah, that's a bio word.
people
Bring it on,
censoring it.
YouTube. Bring it on.
I hear people censoring it all the time, but
Oh,
yeah,
people
apparently
gone.
on it after that, they all became homebodies. People are doing that now.
Yeah. Oh, beefy. So there's so much more going on in my life. Please, it's only Thursday. I feel like I've lived 1,000 years in 2 days. But I can't cover it all here because it will take the entire show. Now, there's a baby talk going on in my house. There is my mother and my father are going through another battle. My mom is winning. My dad is just annoying. There is, let's see, work. They're not going to renew my contract. Look at that.
Oh no!
Look, it's not official yet, but I wouldn't renew myself. Why do you think? Why would they renew it? No, it's okay. It's okay. I expected it. I knew. I tried to save it, but I knew it. And then Friday, I have a meeting with some very important people that I can't escape. And those meetings, I have to be present and I have to be hello, hi, yeah, how's you doing? Oh my God, isn't it amazing? Oh, you're so great. Oh. Even though all I want to do is sleep, but no, I have to.
So this was the troubled customer that was giving you all this crap.
Yeah. But I have to hunt new contracts. So tomorrow I have to woo and enchant people into giving me a lot of money.
Yeah, Lisa. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Alicia, baby talk. So I have baby fever again. Can you believe this, Beefy? I want another one. What the hell is wrong with me, right? So Chris is like, what the hell is wrong with you? And I go, don't you want another one? It'll be from my sperm, obviously. And but it's not all about me, right? So the conversation, the talk, it's a very intense conversation between me and Chris. And we have to put the cards on the table because it's going to be through surrogacy. Obviously, it's not cheap. So we have to look at the financial aspect. But most importantly, we have to look at
Wait. You're having Alicia's having the same thought that I am. You're hell no. You're having another kid. What are you thinking, my friend? You're having a hard time as it is keeping up with Olympia. You're talking having another one?
Of course I'm having a hard time. But listen, because the thing is that if we don't do it now, it will never happen again. And the original plan was to have two.
So funny.
Yeah. Let me tell you, like sometimes when I look at Olympia, because she looks like her father, and I go, very pretty girl. Of course, I married a very good-looking man. She has his eyelashes. Oh my God, they're like Venus flytraps, and the way she looks at you, it's just like Chris. And I go, wow, look at that, just like your father. And sometimes I feel like, I wonder how mine would look like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a little bit of that, and then there's another thing is like, originally I wanted us to have like a full complete family. So a little part of me
here's a good question. I don't think we ever asked on the show.
Olympia ate from Chris DNA, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, cool. It's Chris's sperm. And we have three more from Chris's 3 more embryos from Chris's that are frozen, which that's another talk we're having is what do we do with those? Because I know it sounds silly, but because they're just embryos, right? They're just a pack of cells, sorry. But I see them as my kids, and I have a hard time getting rid of them. I have a hard time. Look, I'm about to cry. I have a hard time getting rid of them because I feel like it's I'm not strong enough to bring them to this world. No, please, I cannot handle 5 kids. Are you out of your mind? But in my mind, I'm sitting there like, oh no, I can't get rid of them. And so I've been going on this crusade, and I'm not donating them to science. Not because I just don't want them to disappear. Even though my doctors are saying, Alistair, it really is just like your skin cells. It's okay. I understand that. I'm a science person. I understand that. But there's a connection I guess nobody can understand. And I'm looking for someone who would take them, to donate my embryos under the condition that I want to have connection with them. I do. So I can't find anybody because everybody who's interested doesn't want to deal with me. I'm like, no, because even though they're not my kids, I'm giving them to you.
Well, that's a good question. Yeah, is there a donation place where you can help another couple? Yeah. Or would you feel comfortable with that?
There is, but there's you could choose to be anonymous. I don't want to be anonymous. I don't want to be anonymous. I don't want to be like I don't want to be.
I'm sure they have programs where you could be involved too. You know what I mean? Like,
but no parents want to take that. No parents, they just want to take it and disappear, which I understand because that's what I wanted from my surrogate. Give me my baby and leave me alone. I totally understand that, but they're gonna stay frozen until someone agrees to take those embryos. And then raise them as their kid. But I want to come to the birthday. I want them to come to the birthday to see Olympia. I want a connection. I'm sorry. Until then, they'll be frozen forever. Please. Yeah, I'm not getting rid of them. They'll stay in the freezer until someone takes them.
Well, maybe one day you'll find them a home, you know. Who knows?
Sorry. I just got very excited.
We have a really big case to dive into today, man. We should probably get into it. Are you ready?
I am ready. Come on, Beefy. You know, I'm the one who talks a lot. Please go.
Oh, you're good. You're good. So we'll dive right into it.
Mm-hmm.
The Long Island serial killer. The Long Island serial killings. Also,
isn't he a nutcase?
So we just kind of learned who he is. So we'll get into that a little bit.
Yeah. He's in the operating flow, but let me tell you something about this man. I have family members who live in Long Island. Scared? Go.
I bet.
Mm-hmm.
I had to do a little bit of research on him because I was familiar with the Lisk case. It's one I've been watching for years, but we just found out about him last week, so this is very much in the zeitgeist.
Oh.
Well, we did, collectively. Last July 13th, we found out who he was.
Oh, yeah, as a society. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
What a creep.
So, the Long Island serial killings, also referred to as the Gilgo Beach serial killings or the Craigslist killer murders, refers to a series of up to 18 persons believed to have been killed by the same perpetrator and dumped within a 3-mile stretch of South Shore, Long Island. Our story begins with yet another night of sex work for a young 24-year-old Shannon Gilbert. And we shall see Shannon right now. Let's meet Shannon, shall we?
Yes, Beefy, let's meet her.
There she is. Beautiful.
She really is beautiful. Look at those eyes.
She probably made a killing doing sex work. I believe it, especially in New York City.
She was making a killing.
Oh yeah, play on words, right? She was making a killing. Did not mean to do that. We have fun on this show.
Let me tell you, I have friends who are in the sex work.
Yeah.
And at the end of the show, if you remember, I'll tell you some inside story.
I think you told us the story already.
I did.
It was like, oh, honey, I let him take a poop on me.
Oh, yes, I did. Look at me talking too much. Perfect.
Yeah,
okay.
That's okay.
Never mind. Continue.
So on the night of May 10th, 2010, Shannon Gilbert and her bodyguard/driver met at her house in Jersey City, New Jersey, and took a drive out to Long Island, New York, baby. It's like the Hamptons, you know what I mean? It's ritzy. Yeah. It's like a gated community they're going to. It is money.
A bunch of Italians.
Yeah, so just to paint the scene for you, it's not tropical beach. For people that don't know the northeast, so to speak, our beaches are not blue water. They're not. It's not hot. It's very much like small little sections of beach with very little tide. Very small waves.
Lots of garbage.
Dark blue water, very cold. Yeah. But this area, Long Island, I don't think they had to worry about trash so much because it was very, like you said, ritzy. It's money.
It's money.
A lot of people from New York City coming in to Long Island to get away from the hustle and bustle of the big city, baby.
Yeah. A lot of no, you're right. Yeah, a lot of Italians and a lot of crookery, a lot of white collar crime.
Yep, organized crime.
Go ahead.
So her and her driver come to Oak Beach, and her driver drops her off around midnight for a sex escort appointment, which was solicited through Craigslist, which will become a common theme throughout this case, the Craigslist ads. Only a few hours go by, and Shannon would come screaming out of this client's house, yelling about someone being after her and someone trying to kill her. Her driver and the client would both go chasing after Shannon, confused as to what had startled her so much. Several phone calls were logged into 911 at this time, some of which were from the driver and the client, but most were from Shannon herself. And we shall play one of those for you right now.
Wow. Oh, Beefy. I'm telling you. Look, our younger days, at least my younger days, full in New York City, please.
Oh, yeah, man. You could not pay me enough to go out there. No, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Okay, can you see?
Not yet.
What's your name?
Shannon Gilbert.
Where are you?
I'm in Long Island.
And what's wrong?
Huh?
What happened?
These people are plotting to kill me.
It's clear from the newly
So this is what was interesting about these 911 calls. First of all, these just got released last year for they were pressing the police for the longest time to release these 911 calls, and we finally just got them. There's like a 10-year rule that police can only hold on to 911 calls for so long. And it was always the narrative that she was in this blind panic, just like I said, the story. She comes screaming out, people are plotting to kill me. But you listen to these, she sounds pretty effing calm.
Yeah.
Doesn't she?
Yes, but it's a good thing. That means for that split moment, she composed herself to get the message across.
Well, yeah, she also made several calls, so it could be after calling and freaking out and hanging up, and the driver and the client trying to, they're talking to her, trying to calm her down, and she's probably breaking away and trying to be resist because it's clear she's running away from them.
But her driver is her bodyguard.
Yeah, correct. And she's running away from him too.
She's trying to get away from her driver as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Interesting.
So we'll get into why that might be in just a second. But let's finish.
Yeah.
Again, pay attention to her cadence and how calm she is, because it very much goes against the narrative that was presented in this case into police for up until last year. 10 years or so.
Shannon Gilbert thought she was going to be killed that night on May 1st, 2010.
No, stop it, please. Stop it, please. Please stop it. Please stop it. No, stop it.
Gilbert, a sex worker, was at the house of a man named Joseph Brewer in Ocean Beach.
At some point during the meeting with Brewer, Shannon reportedly began acting irrational. This prompted Brewer to contact Michael Pack, who was outside in his driveway.
Pack was Gilbert's bodyguard.
Cover yourself. Okay? Please. What's the matter? Are you okay?
What are you going to do? What are you going to do to me?
After that, we can hear Gilbert running outside. She starts knocking on people's doors.
Don't keep yourself hurt. Where are you going?
Gilbert takes off running again, and this is the last thing we hear on the call released by police. Police believe Gilbert ran into the marsh in Gilgo, which would have looked like this, they say.
Yeah.
Prevailing opinion in Shannon's death.
Okay, yeah, we won't get into her death just yet, but obviously, yes, spoiler alert, she does not make it out alive.
Of
We won't
course.
put the cart before the horse, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Shannon would run away from both her driver and the client, taking cover in the thick vegetation, just as we just saw, in the Gilgo Beach roadways, which is odd because, again, like, why is she running away from the driver? He's supposed to be her bodyguard, like you said.
Right.
You know, he's basically her one lifeline out there.
Right.
Like, she's from the city out in Long Island. He's her only way back.
Right.
So in this situation, why are you running away from him? She should be running towards him, getting in the car, like, let's get the hell out of here. This guy's trying to kill me.
Mm-hmm.
So some people think that some form of drug, or she's under the influence of something, like whether it's hallucinogens or she's drunk or he slipped her a roofie or something. Like,
Yeah.
we don't really know. I tried to find some form of toxicology report, but I think we'll get into why there isn't a toxicology report. Again, I don't want to spoil anything for people
Probably
that aren't
HIPAA rules, right?
familiar. That could play a part of it, yeah. But
Yeah.
a toxicology report will not be available to us for reasons to be determined here, just shortly.
Yeah. It would have to be unsealed by the courts to be released to the public because it falls under your medical protection. Just like you could, if I pass away tomorrow, there's no way for you to know how I passed away from, unless a court or police situation, unless there's an order that tells them to tell you guys, the public, what I died from.
Right, and to that point, in the days and weeks following Shannon's disappearance, there were many searches that were conducted along Oak Beach, which is the private gated community she was dropped off at that her client lived in. And they couldn't find her. The South Shore of Long Island, they scoured that for a little over a year. So on December 11, 2010, it's basically just about a year over, based on FBI data provided indicating that bodies are frequently dumped near roadways, another search for Shannon uncovered a fully decomposed skeleton wrapped in burlap sacks by cadaver dogs. And we actually have photos of what that looked like. This is them unearthing that skeleton. So when I say unearthing, it wasn't like buried in a shallow grave.
Right.
The way these marshes work is the earth and everything. It's not tide coming in, tide coming out, but it's very much not secure ground. So it is shifting and moving, and over the course of a year, something that's just left sitting on the ground, it will be covered by weeds, mud, whatever, because it's not solid. Like, think whether it's getting kicked around or vegetation or whatever.
That's how charcoal is made, and fossils. I'm just saying.
So this is the area that we're going to be talking about for the next part. Oh, Charlotte's here. Hey, Charlotte. Sorry, I'm late once again. Oh, she got ice cream. Good for you. She's in south of France right now. Hi, Charlotte.
Oh my God. How's the heat over there? My.
She just told me she's got a massive sunburn.
Yeah, my family members are telling me like it's it's hot. Please be safe. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, more sunblock. Okay.
And shade.
So primarily for the next little bit, we're going to be looking at this stretch of highway. Almost exclusively, we're going to be talking about this stretch of highway. So they have these cadaver dogs. They're out there searching in the brush that looks very much like this. The dogs are out running around. Oh, but just a real aside really quick. I met one of the dogs that was used in the searches for this.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guess what the dog's name was? It was not like a craft fair. No. I forget where it was, but it was like a little fair thing where booths were set up or whatever. And one of them was, cadaver dog used in X searches, and Long Island serial killer was up there. And I was like, this dog was searched in Long Island. So, I got all excited. But the dog's name was Bones.
Oh, really?
How great is that?
The man handling the owner of the dog got some jokes, it seems.
Yeah, got a sick sense of humor, that's for sure. But I just thought that was so cute. Bones is out there.
You find some bones?
Just the right proper gentleman out there. I can just see him, bounding along, hopping in these marshes, trying to find dead bodies.
Yeah.
just a proper out there doing the Lord's work, a little officer on duty. Like good for you, Bones. Bestest boy, as you were, officer. Anyways, upon discovery of these remains, it wasn't long before the cadaver dogs started signing on additional sets. So they find the one skeleton, and they're like, "Oh, we found Shannon." And they're sitting there doing their police work, and the dogs are freaking out, right? So they're signaling, they're going everywhere, and it's not just one dog. There's dogs everywhere, and they're all pinging different areas right around this skeleton. So initially they're thinking, oh, maybe it's loose clothing. Like we said, the ground isn't secure, so maybe stuff is getting kicked around. Like, okay, there's a foot over here, there's an arm over there, or scavengers might have kicked stuff around. However, these cadaver dogs would unearth an additional 4 sets of remains.
Jesus.
We'll get into some of these other ones, but these are all believed to be the victims of the Long Island serial killer. These bodies were discovered in the search for Shannon Gilbert, who is not up here right now. So she is not confirmed.
I do see a man in there.
So the top 4 are, Alicia's asking, what 4 bodies? The top 4 are the bodies that they found when looking for Shannon Gilbert. So the first one, the one in the top left, is Melissa Bartholomew. She's the one they found first. So she's the skeleton they initially believed was Shannon Gilbert. Now, there's an important piece to this, right? In the spring of 2011, 2 additional sets of remains that were found previously were linked to the Long Island serial killer that were previously unidentified. That's the 2 down there below. It was an unidentified Asian male believed to be a transgender, and then another unidentified body that was also had an unidentified female toddler. She was nicknamed Peaches from a tattoo found above her left breast, which was only found on her torso. This is that tattoo right there. So that's how we get to our 8 victims. They're all just basically unearthed. Now, it gets really confusing because none of these body parts are found in complete sets, right? They're finding a torso and a set of hands here, and then they're finding a set of legs over there. Actually, here, we can go and I can show you.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so you're looking at all the different markings. This map actually extends a lot further, but you can see how there's different little, see there's a blue one, and then over another blue one, and then a brown. So yeah, you're seeing even they'll find, like I said, a torso here, legs here, a hand here. It's not like they're finding one body.
Right.
They're finding pieces all over the place, all wrapped up in these burlap sacks. And yeah, they did find a toddler too. The only way they were even to piece everything together was through DNA profiling after the fact. So they collected all these bodies up and realized, oh shit, these legs go with that torso, and this baby is actually related to that mom, and these hands actually go to the arms we found a mile up the road over here. So this guy is just driving up and down this road, basically just doing the quick wind up and then the pitch out his window, woo, you know what I mean? Just delivering these things everywhere. If you look at this road, right? It's like a 3-mile stretch, and we go through where all the bodies are discovered. You can see kind of how he's spreading these out.
So that means they were definitely decapitated before he just kind of sprinkles them around.
Yeah. So I don't believe they found any heads. It's all legs. No, I'm sorry. They did find a couple of skulls. So yes, they did find heads.
I'm trying not to be so bold with my statements to serial killers in case one of them gets too bold and comes to my doorstep. Right.
But you look at the natural. Oh, I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You look at the natural spacing of all these bodies.
Yeah.
It's not random. It's very much.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, the way they're spaced apart, it's
systematic.
He's trying to keep a certain amount of distance in between, and not doing it very successfover. You even look at
sick.
So yeah, these were the ones that were all discovered together within a relatively quick period. But the 2 down over at the bottom of the map, the brown and the orange markers, those are the ones that were found way earlier that were later linked. So we're looking at now what are called clusters. So are you familiar with like the Green River Killer, for example?
The what?
Who the Green River Killer is? Oh shucks, I forget his name off the top of my
Oh
head.
no.
Well, anyways, he's like one of the most prolific serial killers in America. He killed like 49 prostitutes. And he would do the same thing. He would go through what he called little clusters where he would, like 4 or 5 bodies, he'd kind of put them all together and go back and visit them and to do all, we didn't even talk about what he's going to do. But eventually they would all, okay, people are asking questions. He's cutting them up. Yeah, so he's
cutting them up.
He's dismembering all of the body parts and tossing them out in different areas. So like the legs will be one part up the road and then he'll drive a mile up the road and then toss out the legs, for example. And it was like just a total mess of trying to get these all connected. 4 of the girls were not dismembered. They were in a burlap sack. He was charged with 3 of those 4 girls. Oh, interesting, because that wasn't what I read in the case files. What I read is they were all basically chopped up. And I mean, you look at Asian male was not dismembered. Okay, so some of them were just full bodies then. Okay. Asian male was not dismembered.
I wonder why the Asian male
was yeah. So that's what I was about to say is the brown and the yellow, Peaches, and then I believe it's the Fire Island Jane Doe number 7. They were found not in burlap sacks. One of them was in a green tote, and then I have it written here. I forget, but that's why they did. It took them so long to link these together because it almost seemed like different modus operandi. But still, you come down to the strangulation, the dumping of the bodies within like a 3-mile period. Like that is really small. And then the dismembering, it has to be the same guy.
Wow. First of all, that's a lot of work to kill. Second of all, the terror that must have gone through their heads.
How long did he do this? So the first set of remains was found in 1996. And then the last victim, I believe, that was confirmed. Again, there's up to 18. We know for sure the 8 with the toddlers or whatever. These are the confirmed 7 with the toddler, which is 8. You're fine, Winter. Thank you for the help. I dug a lot into it.
No, Winter is, please.
Might be more than one serial killer. Sorry, I know a lot about this case. I'm local. Yeah.
No.
So these are the ones are confirmed list that we know for sure are the same perpetrator. It's the there are up to like 18 of them they think might be associated, and then just the 3 are actually being charged now to the gentleman that has recently been identified.
Wow.
Okay. Let's see here. So in June of 2011, almost a year and a half from what you're missing, Shannon Gilbert's remains were finally found. Police ruled her death to be a drowning, with information from the autopsy leading the cause of death to be labeled death by misadventure. I thought that was hilarious. Death by misadventure. As they believe in a drug-induced panic, Shannon ran approximately a half mile from her client's house and somehow drowned in the marsh and was not linked to the Long Island serial killings. This conclusion has been contested since its announcement, and debates swirl around the internet around this topic to this day. So I want to take a second and talk about this because I find it very fascinating, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we look at where these are, right? I remember I showed you that strip of beach. We can go back here. What it actually looks like, right? Look how barren that is. And then we go through.
Yeah, I was just going to say, what a barren beach. Yeah.
Yep. Shannon is the yellow dots. So over by File 9, that's where they found Shannon. And they think that it's unrelated.
Because it's the distance? No, that's exactly what the serial killer wants you to think.
Yeah, well, I think the reason they're contesting it so much is the modus operandi are technically different because she drowned, but we're going to get into that a little bit. The cause of death in the 8 Long Island serial killings was strangulations. The bodies were cut, placed in the burlap sacks, and then dumped into the marshlands of Gilgo Beach. Shannon is found within half a mile of her client's house, and she's just kind of sitting there. Like, there's no burlap sacks, no strangulation. Like, it almost seems like like they're saying, like, she died of natural causes and was just found. But that's how this thing all starts, is looking for Shannon. So you're gonna tell me that these things aren't fucking related? Like,
No, they're related.
like what are the odds that a girl is running around
Yeah.
a mile from where a serial killer is dumping bodies, saying
Yeah.
somebody is trying to kill me?
Yeah.
And she winds up in the same cluster as an active serial killer?
Yeah.
Like, are you stupid? As a detective,
Yeah.
you are not allowed to believe in
Yeah.
coincidence.
Coincidence don't exist. I think partially is because there's this misconception that because it's a sex worker, she deserved it, right? There's this weird misconception. Oh, it's just she was drunk, like as if that lessens anything. They should have taken it obviously seriously, but it's almost like they don't want to take it at face value. They're trying to explain their.
There's been some speculation as they want to keep the idea that the gated community around where Shannon was actually found was safe. You know what I mean? Like, okay, yes, serial killer was dumping his bodies, but the murders were happening somewhere else. He was just dumping them here. So now all of a sudden you have her get killed within the gated community. The money, the people that go there and spend all this money are going to say, we have a serial killer among us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was a big part of it.
Shockwaves. It's no joke. Yeah.
We're missing a lot of these comments. Okay, I'm sorry. So Winter, who knows a lot about this case, says Peaches and her daughter have not been identified. They did some DNA testing and believe she is from Georgia or Alabama. They also believe the peach is a cover-up tattoo. Interesting. So that's a cover-up. That's a really good cover-up because I can't tell what it's covering up. Yeah, if it is
peaches, butt cheeks.
Yeah, and what, because like you can see where the skin tone, where the yellow of the peach, that's like very light. So I can't imagine what letters they'd be covering up. Okay, let's see. They found the other bodies because they were looking for Shannon. Yep. She happened upon them. Oh! So, Alicia, are you saying, like, maybe Shannon stumbled upon, like, the bodies and the serial killer? And then, like, the silencer, maybe? Interesting. You know what I mean? Like,
I see what you mean.
Stumbles upon the bodies and then he sees
But
her
how
out
does
there,
that
and it's like,
explain? How does that explain the driver?
explain the what?
How does that explain her running away from the bodyguard?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
True.
If she
Because
stumbles
was
upon,
running-
how does that explain running away from the bodyguard? Because she called the bodyguard. The bodyguard was like, "Okay, get out of here," right?
Oh,
right?
Winter's saying no drugs were found in Shannon's system. Interesting, because we were getting into that. I looked for a toxicology report, and I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
She had no drugs, and she was that calm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
really.
clearly was
Especially
going
thinking
to
that
work.
somebody's going to kill her. That's crazy. They say there is a letter under it. Yeah, underneath the tattoo. Yeah. It's in the leaves, the cover-up. Oh, okay.
So Winter says that she believes that the driver is who killed her. But here's my thing with the driver. It's not a first-time driver, right? She used that driver as a bodyguard many times before. Am I correct?
And Winter's thinking that the driver is the one that killed her. No, I think that it's Lisk. I think the Long Island serial killer killed Shannon.
Yeah, because
it's too much of a coincidence.
Too much of a coincidence. The driver is probably, that's not the first time, unless it's the first new bodyguard for that night, right? But I think it's the same driver that she used for protection, because that, know.
We'll get into a little more of the details surrounding this guy, but we know for a fact whoever is hiring these prostitutes is the killer. And we'll get into some of those details here shortly. So if he's driving them to the dates, he can't also be the client.
Right.
Unless he's like client one day and then driver the next, which, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Wow, we're up to almost 10 people. Oh no.
Let me give you inside story, inside knowledge for high-end escorts. So I was never one, but I have close friends who are. So a lot of times the way that works, because safety is a big thing, and assault is not uncommon. And RAPE is also not uncommon. Yeah. So the way the way that they work is when you order those high-level escorts, is you have to give your driver license. So there's your copy of your driver license and all the information on where you meet, and there is a bodyguard. So the driver is also a bodyguard, and they have to check in X amount of time. And if you were going at a hotel, the hotel is also made aware of what the business is going on. Because legally, you go to everyone in your hotel room, they tell you, the woman or the man, and say, look, we're going for a good time. So if anything happens in there, the hotel is aware, the driver is aware, and you as a potential murderer or assaulter is aware that if anything goes wrong, they're going to get you. So that's the insider knowledge nowadays
Killed Shannon,
for
happened to
high-end
dump her in
exports.
Yeah, so that's what we're saying, Alicia. The odds of okay, and you bring up another good point here too. How he has a type. Yeah, if you look at all the girls, right, Shannon fits this profile of a young, beautiful, slender prostitute who was solicited from Craigslist, was strangulated and then dumped about a mile from all the other bodies. All of those things she has in common with 8 other victims, and you're telling me it's not related? I'm sorry, it's too many coincidences.
It's too many coincidences.
It's
yeah.
too many coincidences. No way.
Serendipity doesn't exist.
Mesa Bone Collector. Yeah, we'll have to cover him. That's a cool one too. Okay, dive back into the case file.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating stuff, though. Yeah, so the odds of her drowning is astronomical. Like you'd have to be stupid to believe those odds. It's real time coincidence. Shannon's family. Sorry, what?
No, I was gonna say you guys stupid to believe. You have to be stupid to believe those odds. Except when I win the lottery, then yes, honey, chances is there.
Right?
No, I'm playing. Continue. I'm being an idiot. Go.
We just listened to Shannon's 911 call. Did you not see that? Her client was begging her to leave. Yeah. You can hear him saying that, like, "Get out of here, guys." And Michael Pack is like, "Okay, we're gonna go downstairs." She definitely didn't drown. Okay, yeah, we're going to get into that a little bit, the autopsy, and then the second one. Oh, you're spoiling it. Okay.
Yes, Winter.
Yeah, calm down. We're not done yet, Winter. Shannon's family has been very vocal that the police bungled the investigation from the get-go, and she was all but certainly a list victim. An independent autopsy ordered by the family of Shannon Gilbert yielded much different results, wherein upon examination of Gilbert's body, damage was found to her hyoid bone, consisted with strangulation, which was the same means of death of all the other list victims. Also found during autopsy was that Shannon's body was found face up, just like Winter says. I'm sorry, you're fine.
Yeah, Winter.
We were just getting into it. You're fine.
Bring it on,
yeah.
Winter. Mm-hmm.
So how the fuck in a marshland do you drown face up? You'd have to be really fucked up or just plain stupid to drown in marshlands, like. And not even a foot of water, right? Like marshlands, it's like soggy mud. How? Like are you shoveling mud into your mouth and down your fucking esophagus? How? What are you doing? Not to say that's not possible, because there is speculation that she was on drugs, and I don't know. I'm not going to comment on sex workers, but they're not exactly typically highly educated. I'll put it that way.
Maybe she fell asleep on her back.
But then again, how is the mud getting in her mouth?
She slept too long.
No, I know. That's an odd one to me. If that's true and she really was found face up, like, I'm sorry, she's a list victim, and the police are like trying to cover it up. That's another big facet of this, which is interesting that this new culprit has been arrested, because there was a lot of speculation that Lisk had some connection to law enforcement. Like, I think it was actually the chief of the department that was, maybe not the chief, but one of the members of I'm sure Winter can tell me, that one of the members of law enforcement was like one of the primary suspects in this case, was like the one who was a big part of the investigation. But of course, now we know that I didn't even include that, because it's just like, we know that's not him at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, so this next part is effing weird, but it's the facts as they are, so I have to include it. Shannon's mother, Marie, this is her mom right now, was murdered by her sister, Sarah. She was stabbed to death. So Shannon's sister, Sarah, stabbed her mother, Marie, who was like one of the most vocal people for this case to like get solved. Like, Shannon's mom has very much been in the limelight to get this case pushed back into the stratosphere.
So when was she murdered?
Oh, when was she murdered?
It
was way after, like 2016.
After her daughter?
I feel like. Yeah, years after.
Do they know why her other daughter murdered the mom?
I believe it was like a psychiatric break. Like, the two are not related. And as much as like I can say in one hand, like, oh, there are no coincidences, So I felt like it was important to mention this. I
Yeah.
really do think the murder of the mom really was just a coincidence. But even so, like
Yeah.
you have to mention it because it's like people are dying around this girl everywhere she goes. Like she's literally stumbling into dead bodies, and then her family gets murdered. Like there's definitely still a possibility that the murder of her mother is connected to this somehow. But I think it's unlikely. I think it's just a coincidence that her mom happened to get murdered by her sister. I mean, you got to think how much trauma goes into families that have been torn apart by
You know,
attacks like this. It's
I
probably
was,
hard to deal with.
yes, I was just gonna say, just looking at her picture right now, it's just flipped. I mean, she's a beautiful girl, but knowing her mom got murdered by her other daughter years after, then I'm like, "Oh, wait a minute, I see pain in her eyes, right?
Yeah. There
Okay,
have been movies made. I mean, obviously, if Shannon is into sex work, it doesn't. I mean, again, there's a lot of reasons people can get into sex work, but typically, people that get into sex work, it's very typical to
yeah,
see trauma.
there's
They're
definitely
trying
trauma.
to regain a sense of control
Correct.
back with their
You got it. It's a
sexuality.
sense of control, or a means to an end. It's
Yeah.
one of those two. Oh, please. I've asked a lot of questions. And Winter says the sister has severe mental illness, probably psychosis. Yeah, see, so sister tried to kill her own child not too long before that. So the sister
Oh
probably
wow.
has schizophrenia or something. So it must be
Yeah,
a
and
form of
probably
psychosis.
probably greatly due to the fact that her sister was murdered. Like that trauma untreated or undealt with,
It
it's
could
gonna
be
leave
before.
lasting.
It could be
Yeah.
before. It could be the sister, probably, because if she tried to kill the kid before, and she did kill the mother through severe mental illness, she was always sick. The family maybe didn't give the daughter enough help, but yeah.
Okay. Moving on. Let's get into some of the phone calls because these are what make this case fucking terrifying.
Love
So,
it.
one of the initial 4 victims, Maureen, how do you say her last name again? Maureen Brainard.
Sure.
Yeah, Maureen Brainard. She went into New York City for sex work via Craigslist, just like the other victims.
Of course.
And apparently, 2 weeks after her disappearance, her best friend Sarah Carnes started receiving phone calls from a strange man coming from a block number. The man refused to identify himself but claimed he had just seen Maureen and that she was alive in, quote, a whorehouse in Queens. The man told Carnes he would give her a call back and give her the address. However, no follow-up calls were ever made to this man, to Sarah, again. Now let's talk about body they found number 2, Melissa Bartholomew. Same exact set of circumstances. She goes to New York City for sex work based on an Craigslist. She deposits $900 in her bank account, calls her ex-boyfriend, which does not go through, and then she's never heard from again. Her remains are then found out in Gilgo Beach that day. They were looking for Shannon Gilbert, along with the 3 other ones. Now here's where things get a little creepy. A little creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shucks, I lost my spot. Starting approximately 1 week from Bartholomew's disappearance and lasting for almost 5 weeks afterwards, Melissa's sister Amanda began receiving vulgar, mocking, and insulting phone calls from a strange man calling from Melissa Bartholomew's cell phone. So she's dead at this point, and she's getting calls from her cell phone from a strange man. So the killer has the victim's cell phone. Now, here's the really twisted part about this. How does he know who her sister is?
So then Winter might have a point. Maybe the driver is the one who did the killing. Because why would the killer you call the right? Why would the murderer try to? Because wouldn't he want to just disappear and move on to the next victim?
Yeah, there's definitely a sexual aspect to that. I think. I mean, there almost always is in serial killing, some sort of sexual aspect, but I think he's getting off on these phone calls. Oh, we got more comments. Long Island is a hotspot for serial killers. Jim Petroff. Yeah, they thought he was tied to the Long Island serial killings there for a while. This Jim Petroff guy.
Long Island is a mess.
His victims, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So, however he managed, because you got to think, if you're a killer, you're taking your victim's cell phone. It just says we're sure there's one killer only. Yeah, there's different theories that there may have been other ones, but primarily they assume it is one killer. The driver killed Shannon over money. Okay. So put yourself in the shoes of the killer, right? Just killed this girl. You take her cell phone. How do you know that, the contact Amanda is my victim's sister? I mean, maybe you're
That
hanging out with the girl before you kill her and she says something like,
unless
odd.
you are the bodyguard and you know the family members.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, possibly.
Winter for detective of presidency. No, Winter. Let me tell you something. Winter Cartagena. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Because if I was the murderer,
Oh, good point, Winter. Yeah, read the text messages. Good call.
that's
Ooh,
it.
because you have the cell phone. Yeah.
Hi,
Okay.
Winter.
We figured it out. Okay. So he figures out who the sister is, and he's now calling her and taunting her, and he's asking her if she's a whore like her sister. The calls became increasingly more sinister as he taunted Amanda by telling her his sister was tied up and that he was going to kill her one day, and finally ending in telling her that her sister was dead and he was going to, quote, watch her rot. Police traced these phone calls back to several public areas of heavy population like Madison Square Garden, Times Square, Midtown Manhattan, and even sections of Massapequa. Police believe Melissa was murdered the night she went missing and was strangled to death, cut up, and dumped in the burlap sacks along Gilgo Beach, similar to the initial 3 victims. So these phone calls had to have been made posthumously from either the killer or somebody who was able to come in contact with her cell phone after she was dead. So yeah, it was the killer. Like, how do you?
Yeah, it was the killer.
One, how do you come across the cell phone? And 2, what do you get by calling?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're not the killer, why would you start calling family members and saying, I have her, she's dead? You know what I mean? Like, no.
Yeah, I think it was a killer. And you know what? The more hearing you whatever you just said, my needle turns towards the driver a lot more, Beefy, doesn't it? That seems too close to home. No stranger should know that much.
If
Right?
I remember right, he was looked at extensively, the driver.
Oh, really? Okay, then never mind. It's not the driver,
I mean,
Winter. Let's both have a seat.
They've been investigating this for a decade. So
Wow.
anybody who even sniffed in Shannon's direction
Got investigated.
Yeah, exactly. They
Wow.
investigated it. There was some guy out there, I forget. He called Shannon's family and was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And people were saying that he was the killer because he was trying to insert himself in the investigation. It was like, there's all kinds of crazy stuff out there.
Wow.
And then you got to talk about internet sleuths, I'm sure, are all over this driver guy. Like, if he was the killer, they would have found that out by now.
What a good Samaritan. The random person who called and said, "I hope you're okay." That wouldn't be me.
No, he was.
basically
He ended
killer,
up
and then
being
I
a
call you.
weirdo. He was taking in random girls off the street and I do this all the time for girls. And Dr. Hackett, I do this all the time. I bring girls in, and he's a total loser. And like I said, now we know who the killer is. There's even no point talking about these. I mean, if you go through the case files, they're in there because they investigated this for so long. But now we know who the killer is. It's it's almost all of it's completely irrelevant. So it's why even bring it up? But yeah, this one, she's right. Yeah, this Dr. Hackett guy really he inserted himself basically into the investigation by calling Shannon's mom and saying
What?
"Oh yeah, she came to my house that night. I was so afraid for her." Blah 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 blah. It's way to almost get yourself arrested for a murder you didn't commit.
Dr. Hackett wants the police attention. Dr. Hackett,
He's never given a statement as to how he got her mom's number. Yeah, but we know it's not him at this point, so it's he's just a weird guy.
Wow.
Oh, Alicia, that's funny you say that you need a whole timeline breakdown of this, because that's exactly what we're about to do.
Beefy, you on fire, darling. I love it.
So yeah, just one more quick aside. Megan Waterman, another victim who went to New York City for sex work via Craigslist, made several attempts to call her boyfriend after the police believed she was murdered. So again, speculation thinking that the killer was calling I mean, who knows? You know what I mean? It could be anything, you know what I mean? But according to when they found her body and when these phone calls were placed, they think they may have been attempts from the killer again to reach out to somebody close to a victim.
Wow.
So yeah, the phone call things are crazy. But yeah, okay. So I always do a wrap up of what they believe happened, and that's literally next on my agenda. With all the information pieced together, police believe the secret events to have occurred as follows. April 20th, 1996. The Fire Island Jane Doe, or Jane Doe number 7's partial remains are found on Fire Island. That's the lady that Winter was talking about. Yeah, a map with yarn. I like have that going on. The yarn. This guy's connected to this person. Who benefits? And this guy met her. And how does he know who's asking the questions? Anyways, yeah. So it goes all the way back to 1996 when they find the first Jane Doe, who was later linked to a list, which is the Fire Island Jane Doe, Jane number 7, who we find in the green tote. June 28th, 1997, Peaches is found with her baby. Is found at the Hempstead Lake State Park. In the summer of 2000, Valerie Mack is last seen by family members, and then in November 19th of 2000, Valerie Mack's partial remains are found in Manorville. Again, this is another victim that was later tied to list after the fact. 2000. Oh, do you guys want to see this? Here, why don't I do this?
Yeah. Although I like the pictures up already. Oh, Peaches.
Peaches, 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 peaches. Here we go. We can go through my timeline. Boop, boop, boop. Are we still up? Yeah, okay, we are. All right. So, yeah, we have the Fire Island Jane Doe in 1996. 1997, we have Peaches found. In 2000, Valerie Mack is last seen, and her body is discovered. 2003, Jessica Taylor is last seen. And then July 26th, Jessica Taylor's partial remains are found in Manorville. 2007, Maureen Brain Barnes is last seen. Again, these are all the victims that we looked at earlier. This the picture that I showed you. 2009, Melissa Bartholomew is last seen. July through August, Amanda Bartholomew, sister of Melissa Bartholomew, receives a series of vulgar and insulting phone calls from a man using Melissa Bartholomew's cell phone. The caller eventually tells her that her sister is dead. So that all happens 1 year before her body is actually found. May 2nd, 2010, Shannon Gilbert makes a panicked phone call to 911 at 4:51 a.m. after fleeing a client's house in Oak Beach. She bangs on the doors of several neighbors' housing and disappears. June 6, 2010, Megan Waterman is last seen. September 2nd, 2010, Amber Lynn Costello is last seen. So you can see like the murder is taking place, and Shannon is right square in the middle of it. Like, just because we found all of them at once, Shannon is right there in the middle.
Yep. Wow, you're right.
10th, December 13th.
Look at what Charlotte says. There has to be more. Oh my God.
Too many gaps, yeah.
You know, I always wonder why don't people come forward?
You can see the escalation, right? So he does like one a year, 96, 97. He skips 98, 99. Maybe a baby's born or something, right? Another one, 2003. So 3 years go by. He's slowing down a little bit.
Yeah.
4 years, 2 years. And then 2010, boom, escalation and violence. Or they had life events going on. Yeah, good point.
And then boom, like he's just having fun at that point.
Yeah.
He surrendered to his madness.
It's like Dahmer when he accidentally kills the guy for the first time.
That's who I is. I'm gonna get you.
He's taking his mask off and he's reached his final form.
Yep. He's reached his final form. He's like, this is me. Take it or leave it.
Kills every time his wife goes out of town. Yeah.
Winter, have a seat. This is great.
Sit down, honey. Sit down.
Because every time I'm time for Comic Con, I love it.
Oh, the actual guy. I thought she was making fun of him. So she's talking about the Rex guy.
Yes.
So that's really a thing. She would go out of town to Comic Con.
Every time she goes out of town for Comic Con,
I'm gonna murder somebody. Oh, I want to see a police show that time. I want to see that timeline with all the Comic Cons. It's like Indiana Comic Con, Shannon Gilbert is murdered. Phoenix Comic Con, Megan Waterman is murdered.
Oh, damn it, wife! Here you Comic Con. Let's get her. Okay.
All right. March 29, 2011, Jessica Taylor's further partial remains are found at Gilgo. So bodies found, remains found of Valerie Mack, baby doe is found. April 11, 2000, Peaches' further partial, so more of Peach's remains are found in 2011 because they're searching after they find the bodies. They're actually looking for Shannon Gilbert at this time.
Yeah, they're looking.
And then they find more remains of the Fire Island Jane Doe as well. December 13th, Shannon Gilbert's remains are found. We talked about that. December 2016, Peaches and Jane Doe number 3 are positively identified as being the same person. September 2017, John Vitrioff, a carpenter from Manorville, convicted of the murders of 2 other prostitutes, is named as a suspect in the Gilgo Beach case. Vitrioff had been convicted of murder. See, remember we were actually talking about this guy? Vitrioff had been convicted of murdering Rita Tangretti and Colleen McNamee, whose bodies were found in 1993 and 1994, respectively. 2020, confirmation announced the forensic identification of formerly unidentified remains of Valerie Mack. So we didn't even know who she was in 2020.
Until
and then actually in 2022 here, we should really have the release of the 911 tapes. And then then we cut to last week, July 13th, wherein Rex Heuermann was charged in 3 of the killings. Megan Waterman, Melissa Bartholomew, and Amber Costello, as well as 3 lesser counts of second-degree murder. He has pled not guilty.
We are just hitting the surface with this one.
No, we're almost done.
No. I mean, like in terms of like what we're gonna see, because what we're gonna see, all of it's gonna come out. Because you see how good of a job you've done. Those detectives have done a much better job because they do for a living.
I had to cram this all into like an hour.
More.
Yeah. And plus, a lot of evidence is probably going to come to light that we don't know
come
about.
to light.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And you see his face, right? He's just like, "Hello, good morning, good evening."
Oh yeah, why didn't I include a picture? Oh yeah, his picture's on the thumbnail, so you can. Look
It's so ridiculous how like
yeah.
nonchalant he is. I'm like, at least be embarrassed. At least that you got caught. At least put your head down, hands together, and close your eyes. Nope.
So let's talk about him a little bit. The suspect,
Go ahead.
Rex Heuermann, is an architect and has lived much of his life in Massapequa. Remember we mentioned that Massapequa earlier? Yeah. Some of the phone calls came from that area on Long Island. According to an interview he did with the YouTuber, he has worked in Manhattan since 1987. Authorities began to seriously consider him as a suspect in March 2022 after discovering that a Chevrolet Avalanche registered in his name had been linked to one of the killings by a witness. Further investigation of his cell phone records indicated that he had been in contact with 3 of the 4 victims. Through June of 2023, an email account linked to the suspect had conducted online searches of the investigation's progress. Court records also indicated that he had searched the internet for sadistic material, child pornography, and images of victims and their relatives.
Oh my God.
Hair believed to be from the suspect's wife, who was out of state during the murders, was found on or near the victims and was matched using DNA testing. DNA was taken from a pizza box discarded by the suspect and was used in the process of his identification.
Yeah, the pizza box. Pizzagate.
Yeah, pizza will get you, man, every time. It's that damn pizza box.
Pizza. Stop, Beefy. Because pizza, when you eat pizza, it's really like, who gives a gram? You put your fingers everywhere.
Oh, man, I want a pizza so bad. I haven't had one in a long time. I love
Hey, Beefy, do you want to know the secret about pizza?
What's the secret?
It's just bread and tomatoes and cheese.
Why is that so funny?
Because people think it's something special about pizza. No, it's just bread, tomato, and cheese. Oh my God! Look, we're paying $5 for bread, tomatoes, and cheese. Suckers. Like, it's so funny. Every time I think of pizza, I go, "Oh my God, Chris, we are being suckered into pizza." But sure, why not? Let's pay for it. Like, this is bread, tomatoes, and cheese.
Yeah, I mean, good pizza though. I mean, some places they'll ferment dough for long periods of time, and they'll get like the artisan tomatoes. Whatever, man. I like pizza. I'm more than happy to pay.
I always
10,
have the
15
biggest
bucks.
giggle when we order pizza. Chris thinks I'm ridiculous, but I always giggle like that. Look at that. Let's pay for bread, pizza, bread, tomatoes, and cheese. Yes. Okay, continue.
Oh, that was it. We pretty much we wrapped it up.
Yo.
Oh, let's look at some of these comments. Let's call him the Comic-Con killer. That's why they moved on him. He started making plans for the next week. There's a Comic-Con in July of 20. Oh my God. It's like the Tim McGraw serial killer. I don't think I get that joke.
Tim McGraw? Is that the singer Tim McGraw?
Yeah, the country singer. Rita's daughter was friends with Amber Costello. Interesting. So we could have a lot of victims, but not all killed. Oh, interesting. His Google searches are bad. They might shut down your channel if you read them. Nothing more New York than being identified from pizza. Well said.
If you
Eating
go
pizza
up,
tonight, you should have told us. We would have gotten you one. Yeah, I'll wait 3 weeks for my delivery from France.
pizza, it's so good. It's so
Oh.
expensive for
I'm
just bread,
honestly
tomatoes,
like,
and cheese.
contemplating cheating tonight and just like getting a fucking pizza now. You're killing me.
Okay, I'll confess. I had a drink. Mm-hmm.
Like
Yes,
an
come on.
alcoholic beverage?
Listen, I have an adult
cares?
beverage. Yeah, because
Treat
I was-
yourself.
I was crying earlier. I was like, my daughter. Look, please don't think I'm
Oh,
over
you use
dramatic.
it to
I'm 100%.
settle
I'm
your
dramatic.
nerves.
I'm dramatic. Please, I'm dramatic. Yes, yes.
You know what I did a couple weeks ago when I was on vacation? Oh, wait, first of all, before we go any further, let's
Yeah.
change.
Wait, there's one comment I want to print out about Alicia
Oh, hang
mentioned
on.
that I wrote it down, and she said, I'm scrolling up. She said, okay, if we save our contacts in our phone, how do you save your family members in your contacts? Do you put mom? Do you put, your
I
brother's
don't.
name?
I just put their name. I'll put my mom, yeah, because I call her mom. But like,
Okay.
right here. But I put like my brothers, just their names.
You put their names? Okay. I guess this is where I'm weird because I believe in killers. I have a special way how to put I can share it with you. So all my family members have a code, including Christopher and my mother-in-law. So if you put mom, you won't find my mother's. No, you won't find my mom. Mother, nope, nope. They all have I'm not going to divulge my secret, but
For this reason, because you're
for the reason that if my phone gets taken, you have to go through my entire contact list, and I never delete anybody, I never block anybody. So you have to go through a whole lot of people, and you won't know who's who. Do you know what I mean? It's just so like if I go down.
What if you lose your phone though? Don't you ever hear stories with people that like they leave their phone somewhere and somebody will find it and they'll be like, "Oh, I'll just call this person's mom."
No, because I won't lose my phone.
Okay.
Like if I lose this thing, I'm out of business. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, same. I would be pretty lost without my phone.
This thing literally sleeps with me under the pillow. No, but
I am slowly, now that I'm getting into YouTube and stuff, I'm like trying to transfer stuff onto my MacBook, so I'm not being as dependent on it. But yeah, it's my go-to.
Backup.
It's my central hub.
Backups. I have 3 backups. I have a manual backup because I like taking notes. It's over there. I have a computer backup and I have the phone backup. So if you take my phone away, I can still operate and make a living using the computer.
Yeah, same. That's
But
the exact same reason I did that is because I don't want to be too dependent on one device.
But it's interesting. If you look at my phone now, mom is not mom, and there's definitely not their name on there. It's coded. It's funny.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's funny.
So, do you have any thoughts about this guy? Do you think that Shannon Gilbert was murdered by Lisk? And what do you think about this Rex
So
Heuermann
let me
guy?
tell you something. After listening to Winter, I think my needle is more towards the driver who may have killed her. Before listening to Winter, it was definitely whoever we caught. But again, you mentioned that the cops were on this for 1,000 years. So if they didn't get a driver, then it's probably not the driver. So honestly, I'm just glad they caught someone, to be very quite honest, because I have members who live there, and it was torture to be like, what's going on? Torture.
Yeah, 2023 has been a good year for true crime. I mean, Delphi and Lisk were like definitely high up on my when the F are they gonna solve the list.
Yeah,
like Zodiac is still number one. It was Golden State Killer and Zodiac for the longest time, but Delphi and Lisk, they were high up there. It was like they had so much evidence, it didn't make sense why they couldn't catch these guys. I
explained to some of my clients about the Delphi murders. Not all of them were into true crime, so I just went into a rant, and I was so fixated on the bridge and how unsafe it was. They were all like, "Honey, I would not send my kids to that bridge." But it's funny how of all the stuff I couldn't get past the bridge, and I was like, "Really? There's a murder at loose. Forget the bridge." It was.
There are so many strange details to the case. Yeah, there are a lot of ins and outs. if you go into all the individual victims and stuff, do you want me to highlight the other one? You should see the stuff they took out of his house. Oh yeah, did they find any burlap sacks?
Yeah, they find any burlap sacks?
That was how they ended the movie. They made a movie about Lisk, and it's like they have the number one suspect, and they end it by like the mom goes and looks in the shed. Oh wow! But that's how they end the movie, though. Is like the mom goes and looks in the shed, and she finds a stack of like burlap sacks. Like that's the smoking gun. Like the duck hunter. Okay, duck hunger. Alistair.
I was like, I don't understand what that means. Winter? Oh, duck hunter. Yeah, it took me a while to process there. Processing power. Oh, camouflage burlap.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's so people thought it was like regular burlap, like what coffee comes in. But yeah, she's right. It was burlap that was used in making duck blinds, like those.
So that means it's the burlap that you'll never find. Oh, look at that! How great! Camouflage burlap. They took paintings of abused women. What the?
Wow!
What the?
This guy was a sicko.
What the?
Dolls in a glass cases. Yeah, weird. Who can only imagine? Boxes of cash in the basement. Interesting.
Wow. So,
all right.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to ask you if you had any final remarks regarding Lisk.
Yes, I have a final remark about this stupid killer. Listen, murderers, too much work. Go to the library, read a book.
Yeah,
Beefy, I'm really serious. Like, think about the details of this particular idiot. You have to buy the burlap, store the burlap, get the girl, run for the girl, hunt the girl, put a dead body in the burlap. Do you know how heavy that is? Wrap.
I think
too much freaking work.
He had the burlap, and he was somebody who is this comfortable soliciting prostitutes. He's doing that anyways. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't searching out the prostitutes to murder them. He was already soliciting the prostitutes, and murder just became something else. You know what I mean? Like he probably always kind of fantasized about, but it was like an offshoot of something he was already doing. In my opinion, IMO.
You know, Beefy, look, I was never a sex worker, but I'll be the first one to admit, growing up in New York City, as an unprotected member of the LGBTQ community, you know, I'm no stranger to, I've seen things, and there are some really weird requests out there. And you're right. Because
we've talked about it on your live streams before. How I'm a sex worker, and I've heard the stories, man. I've seen the texts from guys. It's disgusting.
As I sit here and I tell you, like, I don't understand murderers who want to spend so much energy. No, these guys, they love to spend that energy. Me and you might not want to spend the energy of trying to kill someone because it's too much work. They love it. They could do it over and over again. That's why they do it over and over again. So I digress a lot. I'm like, I don't understand killers who do that. No, I understand. They have nothing. They love it. In their mind, it's like drinking water. That's what makes them very dangerous. And there's a lot of weirder people out there who are above just taking a shit. Like, I like to see when your head is not attached. Oh, really?
He's a full-time killer and a part-time architect. Well said.
Yeah, full-time killer, part-time. Yeah, honestly, some people this is their lives, and you know what? Like I tell my therapist, in my mind, I'm trying, because you know I'm a nice guy. I'm trying to say, like, what could we do to help them? And the therapist is like, run. Don't help anybody. Run and lock the doors. Because Beefy, we talked about that, right, with Jeffrey Dahmer. Do you think it would have been a different story if someone hugged him a little more, told him they loved him a little more? Or like that serial killer last week where we talked about where like the prostitute acted his fantasies and he ended up sparing her life, right?
Yeah.
All they want is to feel feel wanted. Yeah. Okay, look, enough about that. Listen, Biffy, do you see the link I sent you? There's something very heartfelt. Can you please?
Yeah, I heard you found something on the internet.
I found something on the internet. Listen, Winter, I
asking
love.
you.
Look at that emoji. Can you
Do
please
you
highlight
want Bullied Boy Knox 40K raised or Lana Del Rey?
So we're gonna go with the boy that's being bullied.
Okay, the
That's
Boy
fine.
Knox.
Guys, listen to this. This is gonna break your heart. Are you ready for tears? I'm fragile right now, so yeah, I'm sure you've seen this. Press play. Look at this.
What's up, man?
A homeowner has an unexpected visitor, a boy in need of help.
I just wanted to see if you knew any kids around like 11 or 12 maybe, because I need some friends. Like, so bad.
Oh, you know what? I applaud this kid.
I know.
He's putting himself out there, dude. He just
I
wants
cried.
some fucking friends.
When I first saw this, I was in tears
And he
again.
likes Jaws, dude. I will be your friend. Where are you, little boy?
And look how nice he's acting. Look how considerate he is. I just want to hug him and eat him up in a criminal way.
He must know that this person has children because he's. I mean, you can see he's got the little
Yeah.
playground up front.
Yeah, you can see he has. Yes, and even on the
Aw.
porch, there's like a little baby seat there on the porch.
I
I
just
know.
want to give him a big old hug.
I
You
want
can
to
tell
give.
he's
I
like-
wanted to give him a big hug. I really did.
And you know, again, kudos to him for putting it because this is not an easy thing to do.
Yes.
Just go knock on someone's door and say, "Hey, can I
Face
just hang
his
out with your
problems head
kid?"
on. Absolutely. Like
I
he
don't
was like,
know
you know
where this
what?
is
I'm gonna face my
going.
issue. I'm not gonna shy about it. I want friends. I wanted to give him the world. Do you understand? I was
Yeah.
like, my boy.
My boy.
Yeah. I was like, oh, honey. Yeah.
I hope the
come on, let's play.
homeowner did something to help him. But yeah, let's see where this goes.
The homeowner says he knows of some kids in the neighborhood, but the youngster, who's wearing a Jaws t-shirt, reveals he has a problem.
Okay. Well, they're not my friends anymore because they're bullies to me.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, man.
The man isn't home, but he's touched by the earnest 12-year-old's story and continues to speak to him over ring cam.
I'm just wondering though. Do you have any kids?
Yeah, she's 2 years old though, man.
Oh, okay, that's great. Because I love 2-year-olds. To be honest.
Oh my God, he wants to be friend with the 2-year-old.
Because let me tell you, because he's bullied so much, he
Yeah.
can't even conceive being like he's at this point. He'll take anybody. Like
Yeah.
it's heartbreaking. It's happy, but it's also very sad. And you know what? It also made me very angry. You want to how it made me very angry?
Yeah.
BC? I'll tell you how it made me angry
Well,
because
the boys next door, like, screw him. They're judging him. They probably know nothing about him
Parents.
just because of the way he looks.
parents, if your kid is a bully, what are you doing? Get on it.
Yeah.
Get on it. Talk to your kids. You don't bully anybody. Have a seat. Matter of fact, you're
Well,
grounded.
You know what the
What?
sad truth is the parents of the bullies probably have a hint of an idea what's going on, but they do not know the extent of it. I was just having a conversation with my mother today about like some of the stuff we got up to as kids. My apartment growing up, my mother was a single mom and she was
Yeah.
gone for like half the night. So from between when we got home and when she got home from work, there was like a 4-hour gap where we were home alone.
Wow.
And we got into all kinds, like we were having parties in there in those
Oh,
little
boys.
like it was constantly this mad scramble to like clean up the house and get everything together, like for breezing all the cigarette smoke and weed smoke out
Oh,
of the house, and, like,
boys.
trying to air out that, you know what I mean? It's like dragging dead bodies and like,
But-
you know? It's like she had no idea. Like, and that's the point I'm trying to make is she was really on top. Like, she was a very like when she was home, there was a reason we were acting out because she was being
So
very
strict?
stern with us and very strict. So
Wow.
we took the opportunities we had to kind of let loose because they were there. We had to.
I see.
And
You know
she
what?
did the
That's
best she could to stay on top of us, but she had
Or-
no idea what was going on. Really.
That's a good insight because I'm not a helicopter parent, but I'm a very laissez-faire parent. But I'm involved. I want to know, what are you doing? Okay, I just want to see. I'm very involved in every step of the way, And
Charlotte, that's so true. He's very tough because it's not easy. Yeah, he's again, like we said, he's putting himself out there, which is not easy to do at all.
yeah, that speaks volume of his house. Like that means his parents are doing the best they can, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna
being in my head. Yeah.
I
I'm
wanted
coming to
to
beat
hold-
everyone's ass. Yeah, watch out, little kids. Winter's coming. Oh shit!
Winter's
Winter is coming. Winter is coming. That's awesome.
Oh my god.
My grandma didn't
So,
speak
you
English, and
know,
we used to say all kinds of reckless shit in front of her. Yeah, that's what I'm.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm trying to make. Is we always know less than what is actually going on
That's
with
so
our kids.
true.
Like you hear about all these parents
You're
that
right.
like I had no idea my kids were getting into this, or like my daughter had a boyfriend, I had no idea, or like when I looked at
Yeah.
my kids' search results, I was horrified. It's believe me, no matter what you think your kids are up to, it's way worse.
It's way
like
worse.
you are just you
You're
are
right.
getting the tip of the iceberg.
Beefy, you're so right because we've done it. Yeah, you're so right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just as long as they don't die, that's all I say. I'm like, as long as you don't die, I'm
Yeah.
fine with
But
most of
still,
most
a
stuff.
child that's bullying, and again, I don't have kids. This is just,
Yeah.
speculation on my part. But typically, from what I understand, kids that bully are doing that because of trauma at home. Like they
At
are,
home.
they
Yeah.
are expelling or expunging that negative energy they're getting
Yeah.
put upon them on others to build up their self-esteem because they,
Yeah.
in their security, their home where they're supposed to feel where they're supposed to be able to feel vulnerable and exposed, they're getting that negative energy, so they're unleashing it upon others to try to build themselves up. That's from, again, I don't have kids, I don't know, but that's from what
Yeah.
I've heard.
But to play on it, because I want to move on to the next video. I think we all got the idea of this one. I want you to put the video with Lana Del Rey about slut shaming on the same breath.
I want to see
Oh,
what
you want to
happens
finish
with
that?
this.
Okay, yes, go
Yeah.
for it. Go for it. Mm-hmm.
Cool, man. If I see you around, I'll tell you hi.
Okay.
All right, man.
You have a good day.
Homeowner Brennan Ray and his wife Angel posted
Aw,
the
look at
video,
these two.
and it is now going viral with 10 million views.
I think everybody could feel it. He's begging for someone. He's calling out for some help.
How
He's
brave
wearing a
those
Jaws t-shirt. I just noticed that. Yeah, I think all of us, to some extent, since the pandemic or whatever, we're all kind of going through it. It's like we were just talking about it earlier. I'm going through it myself, where we've all just become so secluded. To a certain extent, we all really want those meaningful connections in our life. It's something I'm very much going through right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Good for him. We could learn a lot from that little kid.
Yeah, from his boldness. I agree. Yeah.
Okay, so you want did you want
I wanna
the
go
40,000? Don't you want to see what happens to this kid, or you want to just go Lana Del Rey?
So I want to skip that because eventually there's a GoFundMe about the kid and he gets $40,000, which, you know what, I'm not against it. My question was going to be, do you think that's overdoing it, giving the kid $40,000 from
Yeah,
donation?
and what's he gonna do with that money? I mean, hopefully he used it to go like have a birthday party.
If I was the kid's parents, I'll take it. Thanks.
Yeah.
100%. But in my mind, I'm thinking like that's overkill. You know what I mean? But it's your donation. You do whatever you want with your money, okay? So it's nobody's business to tell you what to do with it. But I just thought it was a good question. Like, would you donate to him for whatever cause? Because they don't even sell you a cause. They just do a GoFundMe.
I don't see what the money solves. Like I would, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's exactly what I was like. I don't see why I'm donating to, right? It'd be different if it's donating to the bully foundation, sure. But
or like if there was a specific goal, like okay, it's going to cost us $2,000 to send the kid out to meet his long friend.
Exactly. Yeah, like Charlotte said, money won't help. He wants friendship. Yeah. So on the money part, I wasn't so sold on it. But if people want to donate. That's your prerogative.
Yeah. I mean, money definitely brings this thing off everything, right? That's why they have punitive damages. But
bring this thing up everything.
Charlotte says, my son was bullied because he wasn't like the other kids in his head. This was awful. He got fined when he was 11, but before that it was hell. I had to fight for him. Well, good for you, for one.
Charlotte, listen to me. I think that's gonna be. I'm gonna be you, because if Olympia gets bullied, you know I'm up there in the face with my lawyers right behind me. Oh, you want to talk to me? I'm ready. Yes, I'm trying. Christopher says I'm crazy. Christopher's like, no, we're gonna do the right way. I am impulsive like that. Don't touch my kid. Don't touch my kid.
Well, here's the thing about that, right? Like you're solving your kids' problems for them at that point.
Yes,
like,
that's what Chris says. I know. God darn it,
What
you and your
what
reason.
you really should do is take
Darn you and your
Olympia,
reasons.
find out what she's being bullied for, and either try to coach her to be more comfortable with it.
I
because
know,
we're really
Beefy, I
harping on
know.
insecurity.
I know.
Okay, whatever.
No, you're right. You're right. Please, I get school on this almost every time I have the
Yeah,
conversation
yeah.
with Chris. This is like, I'll start, please don't do that. I'm like, no, I didn't touch my daughter. Like, I'll start.
But I
calm
get
down.
it. Yeah, it's like your parental instincts just want
Yeah,
to,
I
like,
just
drop
want the whole world to
point.
burn. It's like, no, we need something.
Again, we come back to that balance. It's like the ever-ending question of the king and his prince. If he gives his son the world, he'll be spoiled. If he gives him nothing, he's not getting that leg up that he should have as a prince, and he'll probably need because things are going to be harder for him.
Yes.
So it's, again, walking the balance of giving him enough that he has that leg up and he can be better than others, but not giving him too much to where he isn't going to work for things and get that sense of accomplishment for, you know what I'm trying to say.
I know what you're saying. Charlotte says we're not weird, we're French. It's true. French people don't mess with us. We're not even that rude. We're just honest. We just tell you no. Simple as that. Okay, listen to this. Listen to this.
What is this? Summertime Confessions? Lana Del Rey might have song titles like My Way Up to the Top, but turns out there's a lot of honesty in those lyrics. The popular singer tells Complex magazine that she's slept with a lot of guys in the industry, but none of them helped me get my record deals, which is annoying. It's no secret that a young and beautiful star doesn't have the bubbliest outlook on life. She tells the magazine about her recent 3-year relationship that she definitely demolished through tons of depression and insecurity. Now it's just an untenable relationship, impossible because of my emotional instability. The world was heavy for a couple years. Lana made that abundantly clear when she made an extremely controversial statement telling The Guardian that she wished I was dead already. I don't want to have to keep doing this, but I am. Then told the New York...
She's got the Botox on her lips. They look like little
No,
weird
these are real lips. No, she's a gorgeous girl. She's a haunting beauty.
That is, honey, that is
Listen.
Botox.
No, that's
this.
Listen to me.
Look at those lips. You're
I know
telling me
you
think
I
that's
know.
real?
I know it looks fake.
No.
I know it looks fake.
Normal lips aren't that puffy. They don't.
No,
like,
well,
she
her
literally
lips
looks
are.
like,
Have you seen
like a
Venus?
rabbit?
Listen, they are real because there's a pictures of her before when she said she was sleeping her way to the top. Nobody did anything for her. She looked the same before all the money and the fame. That rhymed.
I don't want to have to keep doing this, but I am.
Oh, sorry.
Then told the New York...
So the reason why I picked this, listen to me, because it's something that I've always heard, the whole slut shaming, and I hate that for women. Do you want to know why? Because women are just like human beings. They have urges like men, and if they want to do it, it's their freaking bodies. They do whatever they want with their bodies. I hate the slut shame thing. It's like, how is it that men are allowed to do it without like being praised upon? But women, it's like, oh, no, you're SLUT. It's like, I don't understand that. And listen, I told you I'm a feminist. I have a daughter. And this is something me and Chris laugh a lot about. I have one rule. My number one rule is this. Don't die. You should try everything because that's important. That's how you grow. And it needs to be consensual. I don't understand why, because a lot of people were like, oh my God, what a slut. No, she's not a slut. If she wanted to do it, she did it. Simple as that. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I think society has such a box for women that I personally do not like. That's my personal opinion. What do you think, Beefy?
I find the double standard disgusting. When a girl sleeps with a lot of people, she's a slut. When a guy does it, he's a player. But I do think that there are negative consequences to having. There can be negative consequences to having a lot of partners, depending on what your outlook on that is. Like, if you're just out there having fun and you're comfortable in your sexuality, and you just want to fuck a lot of people, go for it. As long as you're happy doing it. But there are a lot of people that do that to mask trauma.
Well, that's different.
Yeah, exactly. So the double standard I find disgusting, but I don't necessarily think her sleeping her way to the top we should necessarily be embracing. I mean, again, the double standard, them judging her for it is ridiculous. If she just wanted to fuck a lot of guys, go for it. You know what I mean? Like, go through those periods and have fun, honey. Like, I'm sex positive. Like, there's no reason a girl shouldn't have fun.
100%. And also, it gives the message that a woman doesn't have control of her body when she sleeps with someone. It gives the message that if a woman sleeps with someone, she's giving something away. No, if a woman sleeps with you, you are like, she's doing it because she wants to. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a power, it's a mental. I really don't like that. And also, listen, what's important here is that it's important that we teach our daughters, at least my daughter, is that mental fuckness that people talk about is because there is a conflict between what society expects you to do and what you have the urge to do, and that's why they get very conflicted. Men don't get conflicted for having be like, yeah, I want to sleep with her. They don't get any confliction. They don't get any second thought. They just go and do it, right? Women have that second thought. I can understand maybe in the past pregnancy and whatnot, but honey, you have birth control and you have, all the other stuff and protection, right? As long as it's consensual, as long as this is what you want to do, as long as you do it with good critical thinking, and as long as it's within what you want.
Yeah, and again, and it's not affecting you in negative ways. Like, you're not using it as a coping mechanism or to cover up any trauma. Or, there are a lot of, you could even get addicted to it to where you're doing it compulsively. There are a lot of negative consequences to having a lot of.
But Beefy, also, it's important that we give the margin of error, because how many times have we had sex because of self-esteem situation? Please, plenty of time. Yeah. How many times have we had sex because we're like, I don't really feel like it, but sure, why not? Please, plenty of time. So it's important that we give the human aspect of decisions.
Man, I went through a phase where it was like I was hurting people because I was hurt, you know what I mean? It was like just trying to go, bad.
We have it easier. They have it harder. Why? Let me tell you, after having Olympia, honey, I'm a feminist times 5,000, because not my daughter. Pay her $1 to $1, give her the money she's worth, let her have sex, and don't touch her body. Simple as that.
Elena, we're live. You're still here. Unless you're watching from the beginning.
Hi, Elena.
Yeah, she always chimes in the replay. She's
yeah. Anyway. Yeah, and Charlotte, I read what you wrote. I agree. It really is.
Men don't like the comparisons. Yeah, very true.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, to any heterosexual man who feels offended, good, be offended. I can't care. I'm not changing my mind.
Being overly promiscuous is a form of self-harm. Let me rephrase that. Being overly promiscuous can be a sense of self-harm. If you're doing it confidently and it's not negatively affecting your life, there's nothing wrong with having as many partners as you want. I mean, it's been, there's all those rumors out there about, women can lose. So, and it's been debunked like a million times. It's not fucking true.
It's not true. Really, I know what you're talking about. It's not true.
And again, you're not doing it compulsively or in a negative way or it's negative affecting your life. There really are no consequences to having multiple partners.
And you know what also? And I'm sure women there know, but you know who controls the sex in any relationship? It's the woman. If the woman says no,
not always.
If the woman says no,
you're implicating a double standard right now.
But hey, no, I'm saying that because I want to give the power back to the woman to be comfortable in exploring their sexuality. Because right now, as in our society that we stand in, there's this misconception that if the man, like, you have to please the man. If the man wants it, you have to give it, even if you no, darlings. If you don't want it, nothing's happening in the ideal world.
Well, it should be that way for both parties.
It should be that way for both parties, but women
should be consensual on both sides.
It should be consensual on both sides, but women always ends up losing more. I wish it was not the case. I'll give you another example. Arranged marriages. Please, women always ends up hanging the short end of the stick. I'll even a step further. The whole after you get married, there's this expectation that you gotta have sex. Really? What if you don't? Oh no. Like, have you heard about that Australian guy who divorced his wife because she was too tired to have sex with him on the wedding night? Really? No, I'm just saying, like we think this happens very quite often. Maybe not the divorce part, but it happens very often. It's like, I'm the man, I deserve. And it's like, okay, fine, I'm the woman, and then I need to cook and clean and have sex with him. No, you don't. Like, if you don't want to, you can say no. And if he doesn't like it, then he can kick rocks. What? Like since when it's my body? I decide, I choose, I do as I please. Do you understand? On both sides, of course, but
Yeah.
men always win in that aspect. Beefy, I'll tell you what.
but
I'll
okay.
tell you one more secret. I've been donating and advocating on women's right. I have.
Good for you.
I have. I've on low key behind the scenes. I'm not going to share too much because it doesn't matter. But I've been putting my money in my mouth where my money where my mouth is. Does that make sense? I don't know what the expression is. Yeah, I have, because I have a daughter, and this world is going to be hers. And I'll be completely idiotic if I just not take knowledge of that. Oh, sorry for leaving my kid. Yes, I have a kid. My life's changed. I have a kid. It's a girl. My life is different. Sorry.
No, I think it's a great possibility
Sorry,
too.
my life is
I mean,
different.
honestly,
If I
I
had a
think,
boy, maybe, but I have a girl. My whole perspective on life is completely different. Look, I
there
have
are
to. Go ahead.
extremists on both sides for
Yes.
people that are, quote unquote, meninists. I mean, what is even the term
Yes.
for somebody that's like pro men? And there are definitely, hardcore feminists that are ridiculous. I think for most of it, it really just comes down to not being a shitty person.
Yeah.
Like, I listened to this feminist podcast not that long ago, and really, like, I found myself saying throughout the whole thing of it, like, so much of this really just comes down to like not being a fucking asshole. And it's the same thing with like racism. Like, just let people live their fucking lives. And honestly, far be it for me to even really cast aspersions on how important feminist is. I'm not a fucking woman, but I know based on what I've seen that they're fucking getting shit on all over the place. And
All over
because
the
I
place.
cannot speak to their plight and what it's like to be a woman, just like I cannot speak to what it's to be a minority, I'm going to assume, because I do not know what it's like to be these things, that when they say they're being persecuted against, that they're fucking right.
I think I told you last time, right? Insider knowledge. Christopher is a healthcare actuary, and do you know right now the healthcare system in America is kind of fucked up. It works because people like Chris make it work. But do you know where they get the money to make it work? You want to hear the story? Did I tell you that last time? They get the money from undercutting nurses.
Oh yeah, we talked about this. Yeah.
Nurses are women, mostly women. The reason why healthcare in America is being sustained is because they are taking money away from nurses. Women in the healthcare industry.
Think about this, right? Who has the lowest wages of any career out there ever? Wages.
Okay.
Primarily women.
Okay.
Like,
just to give you an idea.
Most waitresses are getting paid just enough to cover the taxes.
Exactly. Just give you an idea.
Yes, like some of them are making good money because of tips, but that's completely unregulated, and it's not down to their employers to actually pay them. So there you go. It's just another symptom of the man being like, oh well, where can we cut costs? Oh,
where do we cut costs? Nurses don't get the big enough raises. They don't get raises at all. Sometimes they get the benefits cut. It's them. That's where the healthcare industry get most of their pool of money, because every year, honey, those prices go up. The R&D goes up. They still get paid. Where do we get the money from? It has to come from somewhere. Nurses, because they don't complain. This is what I mean. Why don't they complain? Because this, what? A man would complain if you take the money away, but they don't seem to complain. So they keep taking money away from them every freaking year. Every year.
Yeah, well, it definitely seems like we're making strides in the right direction. We definitely have a long way to go, but
we've come a long way. Yes, we've come a long way. I'm just showing you one example of how the mentality is like women always tend to lose a little bit more. It's not equal. Yeah. It's okay. I'm going to change that.
Yeah, there you go. No, it's good to fight for what you believe in. You should, especially.
I'm gonna be found on the beach.
You're gonna be what? Found on the beach? Oh yeah,
yes.
Like
one arm over there, one leg over there, and one face like this.
Do you want to finish watching this?
No, I'm good. We all got the message. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go to a final thought. Beefy, take us to your amazing cutscene.
Oh, hang on.
The final thought.
Love it.
Try that again.
The final thought.
The final thought.
Thought is the way he said it. Thought.
What's our final thought for this week, Alistair?
Okay, so Women power. No, please don't run away, man. Heteros, stay. Don't run away. Now, here's the final thought. The final thought is, remember, anything you do in life, and as I told you with Beefy, nothing is forever, but it's important that you try. You try. Look, I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to inspire you. It's important that you try your best to make a difference. It doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be super tiny. Just by invoking or expressing a good deed, right? So instead of being like, F you don't know how to do your job, maybe come on and be like, you know what? You have a hard day, right? Let me show you how to do this a little better. Just try to transition something about your knowledge to somebody else. And you know what that means? That's creating legacy. Whoa, did you know that, Beefy?
That trying to teach others as opposed to shaming them.
That's
Yeah,
a form of legacy. Exactly.
Good leadership. That's like lead by showing, not telling.
Yeah, because that person will then repeat it and then show them to somebody else, but it came from you. So legacy doesn't have to be genetics, doesn't have to be your own kid. It's just about your deeds. So the better of a person you are, the more likely of you is going to spread. That's the ultimate gift. More of your thought around, but just being nice. That's it. But Beefy,
saying like put into the world the good you want to see, or be the change you want to see in the world, something like that.
Yes. Although that's very hard though, because everybody's so annoying, right? So you want to walk around rolling your neck and be like, F you, motherfucker, who the hell do you think you is, right? But not you have you have to calm your nerves and come to the kumbaya moment and just take it in and try to be the smile in the storm. Let me tell you a story. There was one client. Oh my gosh, she came in super annoying. Okay, I haven't met anybody that annoying ever. But listen, I'm a professional, but she was really annoying. We had the music playing in the gym, and it was like maybe nothing. I could barely hear it. She walked in with big headphones, right? Noise canceling headphones. She's like, "It's so loud in here!" Screaming. "It's so loud in here!" With her big headphones. Look. She had noise canceling headphones. "It's so loud in here! So loud in here!" And I remember I couldn't hear you, but I was in the office and I'm seeing like, who is screaming? So the personal trainers are like, okay, ma'am, okay. They're doing the best, but they're very annoyed because you couldn't put it any lower. Listen, she went on and on and on and on and on, and I came out and I was like, what's going on? Why are you screaming? Why are you screaming?
Wait, hold on. If she's got noise canceling headphones, how does she know how?
No, she was just being annoying. She was just being annoying. But she maybe had a bad day. She just wanted attention, and the trainers there people don't want to deal with people like that, right? But you know what? Here is what I did. I said, okay, I can't put the noise any lower because that's the lowest it is. But you know what I can do? I can take that back of yours. There's a vacant office because it was late. I can put you there and close the door. Would that make it feel better? She was like, yes, perfect. Come on, trainer, move that bike over there. It's a portable bike. And that's it. And it worked. And you know what? At the end, she came to the office. She was like, thank you so much for helping. I was like, you're so welcome. In my mind, I was like, oh my God, you were so annoying, lady. But I didn't go in like that. I was like, let me just try to make her little moment a little better. And it worked.
There you go.
There you go, right? But no. Look. She was a nightmare. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was like, why are you screaming? What's going on? Why are you? And she was screaming and yelling at everybody. I was like, ooh, no, I can't. Because I could have easily be like, pack your stuff and get out. I have that power. I could easily done that.
You know what I've noticed in like, you watch those Karen videos in like the viral videos where it's like some big public interaction where people are fighting. It always takes two people to tango in those scenarios. Like you're saying, if just one person in that situation had chose to, increase their legacy or be the change as you're talking about,
exactly,
rather than just fighting their point to the death, no escalation, no incident, whatever. It takes both people to be shitty and draw their line in the sand
and to prove their point. No, I was like, okay, it's empty, it's late. the bike is not heavy. All right, we'll put you in one of the offices. You just want to use the bike. We'll close the door. The office has glass windows, so she can still see. We'll put you in the office. You do your bike. When you're done, we'll put it
like
back.
a zoo creature. Everyone look at fucking Personus Aspholius.
But I put her in the
rare
back office.
form of human being.
Yeah. But look, I made sure to tell her though, because I'm cool, but you got to put boundary. I said, okay, moving forward, like this is not a habit though. Don't come in here thinking I'm going to put you in the office every single time. I said, just moving forward, get better of this because we can't put this any lower. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But she was so nice. And I've seen her before. She didn't change her headphones. I've seen her again. She didn't change her headphones and she never complained ever again. She never complained ever again.
Yeah, like you said, probably having a bad day.
She's having a bad day. She just wanted someone to, to cater to her a little bit.
Accommodate her. Yeah, exactly.
Fine.
She just wanted to,
It cost me nothing. It just cost me a smile and people to move the bike. I didn't move the bike, please. Move the bike, please. Come on!
I didn't realize that you had a gym. You have a gym somewhere?
No, so I told you how I do for a living, right? So
I
work for corporate people, and they're the one who put the stuff together. But I still have to be present to make sure the thing is run smoothly. Yeah, that's why I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble, honey. Tomorrow we'll see. Tomorrow I have to.
There you go, everybody. Go into the world and be the change you want to see in
Yes.
everyone else.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Takes very minimal effort.
Yeah.
All right, man. This has been fun. Good show.
Biffy, I always blush when I'm around with you. Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that so? Like I said, we can't tell. Why do you blush?
It's so funny. No, you can't tell. But this is what I liked about being with a white man is that he changes colors all the time. He's sick, he's changed color. He's blushing, he's changed color. It's so cool. It's so cool.
I could be green right now, and you have no idea.
No, you. It's so
Staring
interesting.
at the squirrel.
It's so interesting. That's one of the cool things. When he laughs really hard, he turns red. When he's angry, he turns red. Yeah. It's really funny.
What are you gonna do the rest of the night? Have you had dinner yet?
I did not have dinner yet. After you, I'm gonna go raid.
Oh, you're gonna play video games? Charlotte, she didn't snore tonight. Yeah. We did a watch party in my Discord to watch Rocky Horror Picture Show, and Charlotte fell asleep. She was doing these cute little French snores.
Oh my god, that is so cute. Oh, wait a minute.
My groceries are here. I gotta go. This has been fun, guys. Can you take us home, Alistair?
Yes, I'll take you home. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody, listen to me. Listen to me very closely, very closely. We are very appreciative of your viewership.
Dropping a wave emoji for you, everyone in the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching this week.
Yes, and for the new guys, like, subscribe. See you next week. Goodbye.
Oh, I didn't have my outro ready. Hang on.
Okay.
Keep that smile. Keep that smile. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. And transmission.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.